really have systematic evidence. Surely social protection is not always going to work this well. And so we want to understand both its potential, its limitations, and what are the design features that are really promising across different contexts. And we want to know that so that we can guide stakeholders who want to know what works. So just in the sense of why social protection is a promising platform, one main reason is that it already reaches many poor households at large scale in climate-affected settings. So these programs already exist, they already target the poor, and so if we can tweak them, we have a lot of potential for impact. And because they combine resource transfers, often with these kinds of complementary activities like trainings, they can, in theory, if they're designed well, address women's inequitable access to resources alongside things like their inequitable access to information, and potentially, depending what kind of training and sensitization is provided, even affect gender norms. And again, this goes back to some of the bundling ideas that you just heard about. I'll start with a case study in Bangladesh, which is the Transfer Modality Research Initiative, or TMRI, which was implemented as a randomized controlled trial in collaboration with the World Food Program in Bangladesh. And this was targeted to women in very poor rural households. They were provided either no intervention in the control group or cash or food transfers with or without nutrition training, again, engaging men, mothers-in-law, and so on. And this was implemented from 2012 to 2014. What we're finding in the north is that results actually are looking quite a bit like what I was describing in Farzana's story. So in 2022, which is 8 years after the program ended, we're seeing the combination of cash with training, increasing still household incomes, leading to lower stress and depression among women themselves, leading to greater agency among women, and our evidence suggests that this is plausibly coming from women continuing to be more involved in livelihoods related to poultry and livestock that they were able to mobilize through the program. When you look at the South, which again is the setting that's much more affected by cyclones, and a part of the country, part of that region is affected by salinity, you see quite different effects. And here, it really looks like 8 years after the program, you see few significant effects remaining for women.
Why social protection programs? Social protection programs have a good reach, and I think this is a very important tool, a useful tool that can, help build these, move forward and bridge these gaps. So we have many programs focusing on women coming up with respect to social protection. You name it. There are programs like, for example, Bangladesh Vulnerable Feeding Group program, which focuses on women. Then MGNRGS has components. Then Nepal's climate change adaptation program, if you look at it, it has an element of, it's focusing on women. They're designing various features in these programs that are focusing on women. But we also need to look at the behavior side, the social normative norms that are there. How are they using this money? What are they using for it? These are the aspects. I think behavioral changes is something that we need to look at. In engaging community, climate change impacts do not affect everyone equally. And talking about gender, so these are also not gender neutral. There are existing vulnerabilities of different sects of the community, and which is why they are affected differently.